Coleman, and look who showed up.
Yes. Hey, it's Friday and I'm here with the
Rivera.
Fun Squad.
Yes, we're glad to have you today, and we're glad to have you too right here on WFNY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFNY News 2 app.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting me be on the Fun Squad
Absolutely.
for today.
It's gonna be
All right,
good.
we're going to do some top stories first and foremost. So let's get a look at your top stories, and we are going to begin with the latest on the crisis in Ukraine.
Ours is a defensive alliance. We seek no conflict, but if conflict comes to us, we're ready for it, and we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
There you hear strong words issued by U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken after a meeting today with NATO allies. Right now, officials are growing increasingly concerned over Russian threats against Ukraine. The Kremlin has now taken over a large nuclear plant and could soon move in on critical port cities. U.S. officials expect war efforts to ramp up over the next few days, along with another round of peace talks that are planned for Monday. Now, in the midst of the many news headlines covering the crisis in Ukraine, it's really important to remember the impact that it's having on millions of families right here in the Triad. We spoke with a woman from Greensboro who says she's got several family members in Ukraine, including her father and her sister. And she says every single day they're trying to find cover from missile strikes and bombings.
I called my father immediately. It was late night here and it was early morning there, so they normally would have been asleep. Of course, at that hour it was 5 in the morning, I believe, but they were awake because my father, especially, he lives on the outskirts of the city. So people in that area were the first to hear the shots and that there was an invasion happening. And I called them and we just couldn't believe that it was happening.
Dasha says there are trains and some buses evacuating people, but with so many people trying to leave, she says it is very difficult.
Now to more of your headlines in your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now we are working to learn more about the arrest of a Triad restaurant owner and pastor. Greensboro police took Anthony Knotts into custody this week. Families say officers arrested him in front of his business, Seafood Destiny, on Westgate City Boulevard. Court documents say Knotts wrote 2 bad checks totaling out to more than $18,000. Those charges are considered felonies. Knotts was not allowed to post bail. His next court hearing is set for March 14th. Today is For All Service Day. You can get free legal information of all sorts of things. So take out your phone, grab a picture of your screen, or write down this number. The phone number is 336-355-6262. Lawyers will be standing by to provide you with information on all sorts of things. You could ask questions about estate planning, criminal cases, and child custody, just to name a few. The phone lines did open at 11 a.m. and you can call until 7 p.m. tonight. The time has come for legendary Coach K's last trip to Cameron Stadium. Tomorrow, Coach will lead the Blue Devils at Duke against the Tar Heels. This week, the school put up a banner commemorating his success. Coming up at 5:30, we have a special about his legacy as head coach, airing right here on WFNY News 2. Stick around, that is a treat you don't want to miss. In the meantime, let's talk about a subject high on the adulting poll. Home ownership is one of the most common ways to build generational wealth, but too often, first-time home buyers run into many obstacles when trying to buy a home. According to an annual report from ApartmentList.com, the number of millennials who expect to rent forever nearly doubled in the last 2 years to more than 18%. Matt Landon is a financial advisor with Simax Financial Group in Winston-Salem. He says many millennials often have trouble buying a home because they may have a low credit score or are credit invisible.
This really comes into play with college graduates and a lot of millennials who are staring down credit card debt and different things. And they say, I don't want to incur more debt. I don't want to bring in anything else into things. So I'm going to avoid credit cards. I'm going to pay cash for everything, which is a good thing. But the downside to that is you're not building that credit score.
Those forever renters are in luck. All 3 major credit bureaus and mortgage buyer Fannie Mae recently announced they will allow rent payments to count towards credit and loans. Landon says rent is a great measurement of a potential home buyer making consistent payments.
With rent, when you can go back several years and show that you've been consistently making these payments, it's going to have a positive impact on your credit score. And when you do that, especially if you go back and are able to include this past 4 or 5 years, if it hadn't priorly been in your credit score, you can actually see a pretty significant jump in your score.
Landon says there are a number of financial tech services that can report your on-time rent payments to credit bureaus like Rent Reporters, Rental Karma, Level Credit, and Pay Your Rent. Some of these services are free or have fees as low as $10 or less. For a full list of companies, just look for this story on our website. Landon also says it's a good idea to start building credit as early as you can. He recommends that parents co-sign on a credit card for their teen or their college student and make small payments over time to help build that credit history. And that's something that my parents did. They got me a credit card when I was in high school, and just, you know, you get little things like gas and stuff like that, and you just make sure that you pay it to help build that history.
Yeah, I've probably prompted too many people, too many younger reporters who've come through to say, get a credit card. And they're like, my parents don't want me to have a credit card. I'm like, you need a credit card so you can build credit.
Right. I did that with the twins, you know, when they went to college, and we got them a credit card, and I said, just buy something that's maybe $150 and pay $20 a month for a while, you know, just to get that thing down. You have to establish that early, and nobody knows that unless somebody tells you.
One of the interesting things that Landon was saying, how people who pay rent, that's one of the most consistent things that we have. And he was saying that you'll find that your mortgage payments are often a lot lower than what you're paying out in rent.
Agreed, and this is fantastic that they've moved this to part that helps you build your credit, because this is something that everybody does, right? They are all paying their rent, so this is a great indicator. I'm so glad that they've included that.
Absolutely, me too.
I think that's the right thing to do. That's right. All right, let's talk about a forecast. We've got some changes coming up. The days are all over the place, really. I mean, when you look at temperatures across the region today, big difference from yesterday, right? We were looking at some areas seeing an 80-degree high temperature the other day. Now we're at 56 in Greensboro, Burlington 58. Asheboro, you're also at 58, with Lexington at 59, and we'll drop it down to 55 for Mount Airy and Galax, Virginia at 53. Things are going to change, though, as we watch this over the next couple of days. The lows tonight are fairly mild. We get warmer tomorrow, 42. That's because we see that cloud cover move in, so that blanket of clouds kind of holds the heat in, and it keeps us in those 40s. We will see some fog develop toward morning hours, we think, and overnight also. So if you're going out anywhere late tonight, just keep that in mind. Variably cloudy for your Saturday, a bit warmer, 64 for that high. Some of you, depending on if you get some breaks in the sunshine, might see temperatures in the upper 60s. Just the opposite, if you get all cloud cover, you could be a little lower than that. That's a good average across our region. A couple of clouds across the sky right now, but really mostly sunny. We're waiting for the next systems to get closer to us. Here's the high pressure that made us a little on the cool side today, and then just the opposite tomorrow as that low lifts north and the warm sector starts to move in. That's why we see those highs on Saturday in the 60s, and possibly when we get to Sunday, we're thinking 70s. Now, this front will move into place and kind of change everything for us in the next couple of days. So we'll look at that. Next week looks a little bit different. So lows tonight at 42 degrees, and look for mostly cloudy skies with that fog. 7-day forecast shows 74 on your Sunday. It's 80 degrees on Monday. How about that? Wow. And then some gradual clearing as you head into Tuesday. We'll cool down 65 then, 55 midweek. Look at the rain chances, though. It's a 40 to 50% for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A couple different systems moving by. Our normal high is 58, so we're just about there on Thursday. And then by Friday, a little warmer. Still some rain left over. Not much, though, and 62. You know, going to see the Symphony, that is always exciting to me. That huge sound is like no other. But combine that with a jazz great and a saxophone player like you've never heard, and you have a one-of-a-kind experience. I spoke with assistant conductor Stephen Mulligan about the Winston-Salem Symphony working with Branford Marsalis. Well, Stephen, when I heard this, that Branford, I mean, that's a huge name. Tell me how all this came about.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. So we have this amazing all-American concert programmed with the Winston-Salem Symphony, and we thought that the John Adams Saxophone Concerto would be a wonderful opportunity to work with this legendary artist, Branford Marsalis. Alongside the Saxophone Concerto, we also have a wonderful symphony by William Grant Still, who was the first African-American composer to have his music premiered by a U.S. orchestra. And we have an audience favorite called An American in Paris by George Gershwin.
So talk about the, I always like to hear what the musicians are thinking. You know, when you get a big name like that, what's the buzz amongst the crew?
I can't read their minds, but of course you see in the orchestra there are various people with various connections to the jazz world, to the Marsalis family, to Branford in particular. And I know that a lot of the woodwind players especially are excited to see him. There's some interesting music in the concerto where there's like sort of a back and forth dialogue between some of the woodwinds and the saxophone. And I think that the orchestra musicians are going to have a really good time in that musical conversation.
So how unusual is it to get a star like this to play with a symphony? We hear about it occasionally.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that in the orchestral world, we're coming more in this direction of inviting people who play maybe mostly in other genres to join us in our mostly classical world, and hopefully vice versa. And we found that audiences love it, and we love it too, this sort of meeting of the worlds, jazz and classical in this case.
This is great stuff, Stephen. Good luck with this. I'm sure the seats will be filled. This is really cool. I mean, one of the greatest saxophone players ever in the whole Marsalis family. New Orleans, big deal. Side note for you guys, I had a friend that used to work for the network, NBC, and back when Branford was the music director for The Tonight Show when Jay Leno was there, she got me tickets when I was in LA on business, and I got to sit right beside him, like literally.
Cool. Wow.
So during commercial breaks, we talked. He was just the nicest guy. He'd never remember that, but he was one of the nicest guys ever.
I just think the symphony is such a cool thing. I think a lot of people, if they've never been to the symphony, they think it's all like buttoned up and you have to be like really like, in your box and whatever else. I went and saw it when they did Star Wars. I went and saw it when they did Led Zeppelin. I'm just telling you, it's like a melding of everything, and everybody needs to hear that big sound.
And it's just an awesome experience because that live music and just how like uniform everybody is, it's overwhelming, and it really is entertaining to watch.
If you can't listen to a recording of a symphony and get it. You have to be there. Tanya, are you right? That's
yeah,
right,
because
Tanya,
you feel it like in your chest.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's such a big sound.
Even when you see like certain performers and singers like in our modern day and they sing with like a symphony behind them, it's huge.
It is.
Yes.
It is. I know, Tanya, you mentioned the Star Wars thing. I was there one time with a friend of mine. We were backstage for that. It wasn't a performance. It was when they were rehearsing. And when they started playing that theme song, I got cold chills. When you hear that Star Wars theme in person, it's something else.
Really cool.
Sounds
Everybody needs
fun.
to check it out.
You were in there like, hey.
You're going to open up.
So good.
Hello, Facebook friends.
I don't think you think of Led Zeppelin in the symphony, and to hear some of those songs.
Tanya says she was whipping and nay-naying at the symphony.
Well, the Facebook audience loves that. So there you go. Now they've got that. I was there when Sting was in the symphony, and that was
I would have liked to have
crazy.
seen that.
Again, I was there with my buddy during rehearsals, and I got to see him on a stage with an acoustic guitar by himself just playing around, and I just sat there and stared. I'm sure he was like, "What's wrong with you?"
No.
That's a legend right there.
It is. Yeah, so for sure. All right.
We got Coach Lamont coming up next.
So it's me and you at 5, Freddie friend.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. I need to look over those scripts.
Okay. I know, that's what I'm trying to do too. Because they
All right,
like to throw
Facebook, we're going to run and actually do some work. How about that?
all
And
the
we'll
names in
talk
and
to you
stuff,
just
and
a
I'm like, In today's You Day moment, Coach Lamont talks about shining your light when you're surrounded by all the darkness.
These indeed can be dark times for so many of us, but darkness can't last for long and must eventually bow its knee to the light. There is a light within you that shines so bright that it's impossible for the death of darkness to steal your breath. I declare over your life that every idea will come to pass and that you will not die until it is realized. I speak life over you and your family, that the greatest days are the days ahead. Learn to forgive and close the door to resentment because of misunderstandings. I declare you are free from any false burden that tries to creep into your life. I declare that the treasure within you will overrun with richness, and your next big breakthrough is about to happen right now. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
You know, I got to take you to church.
We always
during
let
the
Lauren start.
segments. This darkness piece, it reminded me of the scripture, you know, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. Meaning, like, you know, the next day is always the start for hope, the start for a new day. And that's what I like to think of when I'm going through stress. Yeah, producer just said amen.
Yeah. See, and I think that I just like the symbolism of sunrise, right? Like every day, that's why I don't mind getting up early. I get up before the sunrise almost every day. And I love that feeling of that first start to a day. It does make you feel like everything is wiped clean.
Yeah,
Everything
absolutely.
is new. That's right. Every time I go to the beach, or actually anytime I travel, I always see the sunrise. And I always want to see the sunrise on my birthday specifically, because I'm like, this is the start of a new year. And he's resetting me, and all of this is new, and all of the possibilities that are in front, right?
I like that. I'm going to have to do that for my next
that is
birthday.
Steal
a good
that.
idea.
Just
Steal
be
that.
one with the sun.
That's right.
Because remember, if you're driving and you look in the rear view mirror the whole time, you'll crash. You got to look ahead and see what's coming,
Yeah.
right? Not that's my dad's line there. All right, we'll take a short break. Be right back. It's Friday, people, and you want a weekend forecast. I know, because I want one too. There's a live look at downtown Greensboro. You can see a couple of clouds. We're starting to get that little thin veil of clouds moving in. That'll be the case as we head into the night tonight. It keeps overnight lows fairly mild too. Normally when we see highs in the 60s, we would see overnight lows in the 40s, and that's exactly what we'll see. For right now though, we're at 60 in Lexington, 58 in Burlington. These temperatures will be pretty close to where we peak out for the day if we haven't already seen that high. Greensboro at 56, Winston-Salem and Reedsville both at 57. So lows tonight 42. Look for clouds to build in. Could see some overnight and early morning fog. Variably cloudy tomorrow, and we go up to that 64-degree mark. Look at the winds. This is why we're warming up, right? Southeast 5 to 10. That's a warmer flow coming in. That'll be the case not only for tomorrow, but even the day after. We'll build in temperature-wise each day from the 50s today, 60s tomorrow, 70s on Sunday, and we could see an 80 to start the week into Monday. Kind of unusual there. This is a system that we'll watch too. Let's show you this on Futurecast. High pressure keeps us cool today, but then this warm sector, that'll move in. We'll watch for that to happen. That's kind of both days, right? That's Saturday and Sunday. And then just before the cold front gets here, coming in on Monday, we'll see some of the warmest temperatures that we'll see on your Monday. So recapping overnight lows tonight, 42. Look for that high tomorrow on our 7-day at 64. It's 74 and breezy on Sunday. And then Monday, 80 degrees. Little rain starts to move in though. We'll watch that on Monday, Tuesday. Look at that. It holds all the way through Thursday. It's a 40 to 50% chance Monday through Thursday. Highs will cool to the 50s, where we should be really, for Wednesday, Thursday, and 62 and rain tapering off on Friday.
March is National Reading Month, and if you're shopping for a new book, we've got a local place you might want to check out.
Yeah, there's a bargain bookstore happening this weekend, and the funds raised are going to a good cause.
And picking up a book can be a great way to escape tragedies and hardships we're facing right now in our world. David Beth Synagogue has tens of thousands of books up for grabs all weekend. Volunteers tell me they have books for everyone. They've gone out of their way to make sure they have books stocked that readers today are into. There's fiction, mystery, religion, and even books kids can enjoy.
It's just an invitation to everybody to come. We even have schools come. We have people who come because they want, in particular, health and wellness books. They take back to some private practice they have of their own.
And that's what the book sale is all about, getting people back out and connecting with one another. The bargain sale is the synagogue's largest fundraiser and is a 18-year tradition. Money raised will go back into the community.
We do a lot of things within the building, but we also contribute outside of the building, working with Out of the Garden to redistribute food. For us, we're always looking outwardly as well, to education, to how we're policing, to just the general social network of the Greensboro community.
And here are the days and times folks can shop. You can get a book for $1 today, Sunday, and Monday. The last day, bring a bag because you can stuff it with books for just $10. The Beth David Synagogue tells me that they are the only place in our community locally where you can pick up texts that deal with Jewish subjects. The rabbi will be at the book sale each day to chat with folks who may want to learn more about the faith.
I love it. That is a good place. You just go up and down and you're like picking through all of the things. They have every genre, everything.
What's your favorite genre?
Oh gosh, you had to ask that. Probably, I always loved science fiction when I was a kid, and I'll read some Stephen King every now and again too. Yeah,
I can't read that and go to bed.
Yeah, I didn't say I read it before bed.
No. I always like the autobiographies because I always think that truth is stranger than fiction, right?
I love autobiographies. I'm reading one right now. I just love like listening the people that I'm inspired by, or just even certain celebrities I like how they got to where they are.
Yep.
And I also love romantic books. Like Twilight, I read the whole series. I was a huge Twilight fan when I was in high school.
I liked, I read Steve Martin's autobiography, and that was phenomenal. As a matter of fact, he talks about Winston-Salem in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to have you guys read it before I say it because it wasn't very positive because it was early in his career.
Okay.
And he said, you know, certain comedians go to some audiences and they don't get them, right?
Yeah.
And that happened to him there. And he said, but it motivated him. But he did talk about Winston-Salem, and I thought that was great.
Awesome.
So, you know, I follow the North Carolina Museum of History. history and stuff like that
Oh,
on
yeah.
all of the social medias and stuff. And they reminded me that Ava Gardner is from
Yes.
North Carolina. And I'm like,
Smithfield,
oh,
I
and they
think.
talked about her autobiography and about how she said she had a heck of a good time at life.
Yes,
so
she
I was
did.
like, that's going to be my next
Yeah.
one.
Lots of
I love it when I hear things like that about people. I'm like, I want to know what you got.
That's right.
Lots of things about Frank Sinatra in that book. My dad said in the 1940s that you would see Ava and Sinatra, because Winston-Salem was the biggest city in the state back then, and you would see them visiting Winston. Interesting.
Oh.
Not so sure if Sinatra was married
There's
at
that.
that point. Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to leave it right there.
Yeah. Put that on the table. We'll take a little break. Be right back. Put a pin in it.
A North Carolina family now has a pretty amazing new title. Kim and Penn Holderness from Raleigh are the latest winners of CBS's Amazing Race. The duo were crowned the champs during this week's season finale. They told our Triangle News partners they were the oldest couple in the race and enjoyed beating the younger teams. While this is big news for the Holderness family, they're not new to the spotlight. You actually may recognize them from the viral Christmas Jammies video that now has more than 66,000 streams on YouTube. I remember when that video went viral.
Oh, I do too. I mean, they've done a lot more since then, and it's funny to watch the production value of their videos went up because they started making money.
So it's funny, when I first saw the Christmas Jammies, I'm like, why is Kim Dean doing this? So I worked with Kim in my first TV market. We were both reporters together in Panama City. And she's always been super fun and super like, hey, let's go out there and do this. So when I heard that they were on Amazing Race, I'm like, okay, that fits.
No surprise there. I actually knew a family that was on the Amazing Race a couple seasons back, the Black family.
Really?
Yeah. So one of them is friends with my mom, and then they were both teachers in the area. So I thought that was pretty cool.
How did they do? Do you remember?
They actually were the first family eliminated on their season.
It's just so hard. I can't even imagine. I'm not signing up for that, right?
I thought about it. I was wondering, I was asking myself one day, would I actually do that? And some of the things they do, I don't think I could do anyway. Like just like the heights, no.
But how cool is that to like look back and say we did this
Yeah.
together?
Oh, yes.
Or
Oh,
just
yeah.
to tell people we were on the amazing. I think even just making it on the show is like a
I
big
agree.
deal.
I do too. Yeah.
Tanya's life is the amazing race. She does so much with her travels. We'll be right back.
Not the heights. I'm like, she's still talking, right?
I will punch you. Hey there, good afternoon, everybody. 30 more minutes of the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman and Tanya Rivera.
Yo.
Welcome, welcome.
We are glad that you are here. Welcome to all of you watching 4 to 5 right here on WFMY News 2. We got Fire Stick, we got Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app for your TV and your phone, like you're watching, right?
And we're
Everybody.
also on Facebook too.
Live right now.
So make sure you join the conversation. Once again, thanks for joining us. Right now, Blue Devil fans are gearing up for the send-off of the century. Coach K's final trip to Cameron Indoor Stadium, the legend will lead the charge against the Tar Heels tomorrow night for one last time.
Yeah, with more than 4 decades leading the men's basketball team, Coach K's list of accomplishments, they are simply unmatched. He has impacted so many lives during his time in Durham, and the Cameron Crazies, they are prepared to give him a proper farewell. I don't even know what that would entail. Tickets, of course, are sold out, but get this, the cost to get in the building totaled out to more than the cheapest seats at the Super Bowl.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that too.
I mean, it's history. You
Yeah.
are watching
It is.
history.
I mean,
tonight.
he, everybody knows I'm a Carolina fan. He is, on the numbers, the winningest coach of
Yeah.
all time.
Yeah.
He's an incredible coach and has done amazing things. I heard, don't know if this is true, someone said there are going to be about 80 former Duke players there today, tonight, or excuse me,
Wow.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
That's so cool.
It's going to be a huge party in the stadium for sure.
Oh, it is. And, I hope, expect Duke to win, but I hope that it's a close game because that's what it is.
You want the rivalry to be good.
Absolutely,
yeah.
you do. I really don't want to blow out, and it's not because I'm a Carolina fan. It's because you want that competition to be. What I really wished is that Roy and Kay had gone out in the same year.
yeah.
I think that would have been
Epic.
phenomenal.
That would have been too much for all of us to handle.
It would. Too much pressure on that game. Yeah. Coach K was asked, by the way, what he was looking forward to most in retirement. Check out what he said here.
I want to get another dog quickly, because of the season, we didn't want to train a puppy.
It's a lot of work. So I asked you on Facebook, tell me the first thing you will do in retirement. Indy Moore, who's a regular here, he says, I retired 3 weeks ago. I've been doing a little traveling and want to work on my own projects there. LaFran says, move to the beach. I'm with you, Fran. Donna says, I would say traveling, but it would be really nice to do that now while I'm not old. Angela says, move out of state with my son and granddaughter, or move to the beach. That was a common theme, by the way, going to the beach. Rhonda says, I'll do nothing for a couple of weeks. I like that. And Debbie, I like this. I will unplug the alarm clock.
Yes, waking up whenever you want to. I think that's nice. That doesn't mean that you have to sit around all day, but wouldn't it be nice to just wake up whenever you decide?
That's one of the
eyes
things
pop open.
I want to do. I want to sleep in. I want to binge watch junk TV. I want to not put on any makeup because we have to get dressed up for work all the time. I just want to, sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's what I want to do.
My wife. That's all she talks about. I want ponytail and gym clothes.
But I feel like you need to do that now too, right?
Yeah.
To give yourself a reset and a break.
I like what you said. I don't want to hear the alarm clock. I just want to wake up naturally.
Birds chirping.
Yeah, bringing you your cloak as the birds show up. Yeah, I just think that would be the best.
But this is just going to be an epic night tomorrow night.
It is.
And to see all the people that will be there, I just can't even imagine his emotional, being able to handle what happens tomorrow night, especially when he sees all those players that he's mentored and had impacts on their lives. And
I mean, I will tear up because ACC basketball is a thing, right? If you grew up here, it is a thing. And I grew up right in the middle of all of it, and my family just loved it. People used to joke, they said ACC basketball is a religion. It was a big thing way back in the day, even now.
Didn't you say they used to roll in the TV and you guys would watch that in class?
When I was in middle school, on the Thursday and Friday of the ACC tournament, they would roll in a TV on a cart, and we didn't have class. From noon till time you get out of school, we'd watch basketball.
That's intense.
Yeah. Now, my dad was superintendent, so I don't know if he knew all that was going on, but
had to have known, because lots of people have that same kind of story. It really it was part of the curriculum, right? Because
it was that big.
Yes, it is part of the culture here in North Carolina, and it really is. People do call in sick on those days.
You need to, if you're new to the area and you're not familiar, then watch an HBO documentary called Battle for Tobacco Road, and it's about Carolina, Duke State, and Wake to a degree, and it's all in there, and it just talks about the history of the rivalry. It's really cool.
I'll check it out.
Yep.
Well, stick with WFNY News 2 for more on Coach K's legendary career. Coming up, we've got our 30-minute special on Coach K Beyond the Court. Don't miss it. It airs right here at 5:30.
All right, turning now to an update on coronavirus in North Carolina. The CDC has released its new COVID risk map, and Guilford County is now in the medium COVID risk category. The previous map showed all of the Piedmont Triad as red, meaning that high risk for transmission. The decrease in severity allows for loosened mask recommendations and focuses on hospitalizations rather than on case counts.
We're adding to our impressive declines in COVID numbers. The latest percent positive at the state level is the lowest since mid-November, 4.3%. It's now the second consecutive day this number has been below the red line of 5%, and then the past 10 days have been below 10%. In the past 2 weeks, just one day has been above 10%. It's a big improvement from the day we hit 36% back in mid-January. We've come a long way since then. Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist is closing 3 testing sites due to the decrease in COVID cases across the Triad. The impacted clinics are in High Point, Winston-Salem, and Wilkesboro. The sites will remain open until tomorrow at 3 p.m.
It's the weekend. You need to know the forecast, and I can tell you this, we're on a warming trend, so that's good news. We do have clouds moving in actually as we speak, but temperatures are going to be nice, 60s on Saturday, 70s on Sunday. I mean, it's pretty good heading into the weekend. Actually, to be honest, it's been a while Tim Buckley and I were talking about this the other day, that the weekend weather has been decent. We would have great weekday forecasts, and then the weekend would have rain, but not the case this go around. 56 in the Triad, 61 in Wilmington, Asheville at 63. We've got 47 in Elizabeth City, and we see some 50s up to the north in Virginia as well. A couple of clouds starting to move in, but when you get out to the wider shot here, you see the bulk of it has yet to be realized. All this is a low pressure center that's way back over here on the left side, just off screen. And then this high pressure keeps us cool for now. That'll change. This warm front lifts back up over our area, and we get a little bit of a cold air wedge, kind of that Appalachian wedge we talk about. However, it's dry with this situation. We may see cloud cover, but we do not expect any precipitation from this. Worst case scenario, you may see a sprinkle on Saturday, but I don't even think that's going to happen. And then warmer air pushes in. So Saturday, look for highs in the 60s, and by Sunday, we think we'll see mid 70s on Sunday, and then that front moves through and changes everything. Look at the long range forecast with 64 degrees for tomorrow's high. We go with 74 on Sunday, and that's a breezy, kind of partly cloudy day. That's beautiful. Monday is 80 degrees, but then a front will move in. 40% chance of rain. That's for Monday. Tuesday, same situation, but much cooler at 65. We'll go back to where we should be in the 50s for Wednesday, Thursday. Notice rain chance still hanging around. It's a 40 to 50% for Monday through Thursday, unfortunately, but 57 on Thursday. We'll warm back to the low 60s on Friday, and rain will gradually taper off.
Now let's get you the latest on the crisis in Ukraine. A firefight overnight prompted flames near Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Right now the fire is out, but Russian forces are in control. CBS's Natalie Brand details the attack that's concerning leaders all across the globe.
The International Atomic Energy Agency is closely monitoring a nuclear power plant in Ukraine after Russian forces attacked the facility. A shell slammed into a nearby building, sparking a fire.
We, of course, are fortunate that there was no release of radiation and that the integrity of the reactors in themselves was not compromised.
The U.S. Embassy in Kyiv called it a war crime, saying Putin's shelling of Europe's largest nuclear plant takes his reign of terror one step further.
The Russians have not been very discriminate in the way they're going about this military campaign. They aren't known for accuracy and for precision, and certainly this is an example of just how dangerous this can get.
The Russians also released video showing they've taken control of Kherson, the first major city to be seized.
We have numerous cases, unfortunately, when Russian soldiers rape women in the Ukrainian cities.
The Pentagon says Russian forces may now be in a position to encircle an even bigger target, the critical port city of Odessa. President Biden is meeting with Finland's president at the White House this afternoon. Finland normally stays neutral and is not a member of NATO, but it's among neighboring countries growing increasingly concerned.
Wars like this just don't stay within boundaries, within borders. It's going to bleed over.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Brussels for meetings with NATO allies.
Ours is a defensive alliance. We seek no conflict, but if conflict comes to us, we're ready for it, and we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
Russia and Ukraine are expected to meet again on Monday for another round of talks.
Well, this morning, Samaritan's purse left for Poland to provide medical help to the people of Ukraine.
We're going to scroll back just a little bit. Well, this morning, Samaritan's purse left for Poland to provide medical help to the people of Ukraine. A plane departed from Greensboro with supplies to build an emergency relief medical hospital. 28 workers, including doctors and nurses, will go with the field hospital. Samaritan's purse says it will also send 2 more medical clinics and 20 tons of food to the area soon. We'll be right back. Today we are wearing blue to raise awareness around colorectal cancer. This month we are dedicated to learning more about the disease and the millions of Americans living with it.
Yeah, so expect to see our navy ribbons throughout the month because, of course, the cause hits very close to home. Not only are we bringing attention to the illness overall, but we're also rallying around our own Julie Luck, currently going through chemotherapy for colon cancer.
Earlier this week, she posted on Facebook urging colonoscopy. She wrote, "I wish I got tested last year when the CDC lowered the recommended colonoscopy age to 45. Perhaps I could have avoided chemo altogether if the tumor was caught earlier. Don't be me. Don't have any regrets. Get screened. Early detection is key."
Yeah, and this is one of those things where, you know, she could have done woe is me and like disappeared, but instead she said, no, I'm going to fight this. I want everybody to know that you can fight this, and then I want you to be screened.
Yeah, I love that she is using her story to inspire others because, as we know, Julie, she eats very healthy.
She does.
She's an active runner, and she said she didn't have a family history of this, so this just goes to say cancer, you know, it doesn't discriminate against anyone. No, we have to make sure that we go to the doctor and we do our routine checkups.
And you know, that really goes across the board, right? Don't go unscreened for anything that you can get screened for. And if you do have a family history, and really if you do or don't, those are just recommended things for everybody right now. And there's a reason they dropped that age down to 45 now because of the cases of this. So colon cancer, you know, close to home for me. My father passed away from that. So you need to get screened.
This is one of those things, I'm so glad that you brought it up, of get screened for all the things, right? I think for the last couple of years, we've kind of like pushed things to the side and we didn't go to the doctor, and, you know, we didn't really put a focus on that because we were just staying home, and we really need to get back into that same kind of routine again.
Got to get back into the habit. It can save your life.
Very
And
true.
for Julie, in case you're watching, we love you. We miss you.
We love you,
can't
Julie.
we
We're
can't wait to
praying
have you
for you.
back. Yes.
The best. All right, let's talk about another story here. You know, there are hundreds of dance styles out there, it seems like, for every different kind of genre. But one local dance company called the Dance Project, they're offering some unique help to those with Parkinson's. I know, unusual. I spoke with the Dance Project's Lauren Joyner about their great program. Well, Lauren, I've known people who have Parkinson's, and I know it affects the whole family. This is a great thing you're doing. Where did the idea come from? How did you guys get involved in this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this was a partnership with some of the programs in the city of Greensboro. We had worked originally with a movement social worker with Cone Health, and she helped to get us linked into the Parkinson's community here in Greensboro. And they are a stellar community, one of the best group of people I've ever met. And they were thrilled and excited, and it has just blossomed since then. We started in October 2019, and we've continued our class to now, and we've got about 15 dancers that dance with us every single week.
So tell me how are the classes run? Because I'm fascinated by this. Like, what do you do? Because obviously it's not going to be like a normal dance class.
We really focus on social connection and cognitive tasks, so really mental tasks through different improvisational techniques. And then we also do a little bit of choreography. And then we also take a moment to really have a moment of creative expression. So the class typically starts seated, and then we warm up our bodies. And then I give them different prompts, like paint your name across the ceiling with your hands. And it's a way to really just move freely and be expressive and enjoy themselves.
What kind of reactions do you get? I would think that the patients and the families are very grateful.
Absolutely. We get incredible reactions, and we react too. This is such a special program to us because we get to see these dancers grow and build community with each other and with us. And they've worked with our student performance companies, so they're getting to know multiple generations of dancers. But I think more than anything, it's a chance for them to express themselves, enjoy themselves, and have a moment of freedom and expression.
This is great stuff you're doing, Lauren. Thanks for sharing this story with us. You know, it's the power of music and movement. Go, Lauren, go.
She's doing the line dance, and I like
I see
it.
a little, she's got a little, I see how it is. There you go.
It's
1, 2, 3. But doesn't that make you feel good?
It does.
See?
Got me moving and grooving. I feel like I can take on the day.
And Tana, you said you had somebody that works with Parkinson's patients, and this is perfect, right?
Yeah, the dancing part, she says, and also like boxing, just because they're able to do this, and it gives them their mind. They're counting, they're doing, they're being active, and she says it's really necessary. And it's one of those things with COVID and stuff. The last year or so, they weren't able to do that as much.
And check out this story on our website. It's up already right now. But these classes are free, right? They offer this for free because they want to help everybody. And they said that they get as much out of this as even the families. It means so much to them. So check it out online.
And who doesn't want to move a little bit?
That's right. We'll be back. Stop it. Quit it. He was phenomenal. Yeah. And yeah, that was. Forecast-wise, we have some changes that we think you'll like. Although cloud cover may be moving in the short term, it's just the temperature increase, right? We're in the 50s today, 60s tomorrow, and 70s on Sunday. Here's what it breaks down to. 64 degrees with clouds on Saturday. If you were to see a sprinkle, don't be surprised, but not a big deal. 74 and sunny on Sunday. Love that. 80 on Monday, but here comes the rain. 40 to 50% chance. Monday through Thursday, we'll cool back down to those 50s where we should be for Wednesday, Thursday, and by Friday, a high of 62 degrees. Yeah, Brad's been doing this.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, while somebody's talking, he'll take one of
Oh, my mic is not on me yet. It's not on me yet.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, words.
Touchdown.
I'm coming.
We are here. We are doing all the stuff. It is a Friday, and that's what we're going to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check. Mic check.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. B-Hall, we are a little hot and overmodulated.
What?
We're a little hot and overmodulated.
All they've got to do is tell us.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
Is that better? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Better.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm talking about my kids, my younger two, Tyler, who's almost 12, and Drew, who's almost 9. And it's just interesting as a father, when you come home, you never know what you're going to find. And these two have huge imaginations. They're always coming up with projects, and I just love it. So I wanted to share some of these with you that I thought were cute. Drew knows that I've been working out and trying to lose weight and get back into shape a little bit, so she made this for me, which was adorable. It's Drew's diet. She told me what I need to eat on this list. This is left on my dresser, by the way, so I see it every day. She told me to eat veggies, chicken, not fried, fruits, and milk. Now, on the same page, there's a section, don't eat red meat, fried, greasy foods, or junk food, and she gave me an example as chips, because I needed to be reminded of what that was. Then, I glanced up, this was just last night, I looked up on our entertainment center under the TV and I see something on the right hand side, you can see it in the picture. At closer inspection, it is a baby Yoda with a little crown on his head. I don't know who did this, whether it was Tyler or Drew, but it did make me laugh. I don't know why it's there, but I'm not touching it, it's too cute. And then, how about this? They made a cash register on a piece of paper where you can act like you're pushing the buttons, right? And when you look at it closer, it's got items listed there, what you can buy at this little pretend grocery store, and their prices, which were quite affordable, I might say. And Tyler made a board game, kind of like a Chutes and Ladders. I found this on the couch, and by the way, all of this I'm talking about happened within about a 4-day period. The board game was cool, like Chutes and Ladders. Even had a little section, because he knows I love the beach, the shells of the beach. I don't know what happens when you land there, but it's kind of cool. So I will say this. Funny, hilarious, I love it, but it's also super heartwarming. And of course, even when they try to ditch all this, I'm going to save it in a folder so I can look at it years later. These are memories that you love as a parent. And that's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Over 1 million Ukrainian refugees are seeking asylum as the war rages on in Ukraine. We're hearing from a Greensboro woman with loved ones caught behind enemy lines.
This weekend, all eyes will be on Coach K's final